Welcome back. We continue our coverage of what's been happening in the Supreme Court on live wire. Now, of course, the Waqf hearings are also taking place, but let's, for the meantime, focus on the what's been happening in the Supreme Court with respect to the deforestation exercise that was carried out by the Congress government in Telangana in the Kancha Gachibowli area in Hyderabad. Now, this generated a huge amount of outrage and the matter went to court, after which, of course, the state government has formed a committee. Now, hearings are ongoing in the Supreme Court where Justice Govt has said that we cannot permit cutting of trees without permission of the court. You did not take permission of the authorities. We are here to protect the environment. Rather than justifying the act, it's better you tell what you will be doing to restore the green space. Now, that's what the Supreme Court has told the Telangana authorities. Let me go across to my colleague Somit, who's joining us on the phone line for more updates about what's been happening in the Supreme Court about this. Strong words once again by the Supreme Court in this all-important hearing. Somit, how is the state government in Telangana now responding to this?
That's true. Last time we have saw how Supreme Court has come down heavily on the state government and even warned the Chief Secretary of the Telangana state, and now again, on this Kancha Gachibowli land, the matter was heard by the Supreme Court, and when it comes to the tree felling, SC has even threatened to jail Telangana officials and stated that if you oppose restoration, temporary prison for your officers is what the Supreme Court has stated to the Mr. Singhvi, and has also ordered that Wildlife Warden of Telangana directed to examine and put into immediate effect and steps required steps to be taken to protect wildlife affected on the account of deforestation of 100 acres, because the government has they have admitted that 100 acres of land out of 400 acres, this deforestation has took place. We have saw how bulldozers, JCBs rolled in these 400 acres of land, and they have cleared all the trees and plantation, affecting the flora and fauna in 100 acres. So the Supreme Court, has stated that immediately, with an immediate effort, the required steps should be taken to protect the wildlife there, because 5 to 6 deers were seen dead. Later, several deers were seen roaming here and there. Even I myself went there to that 400 acres of land to see how was the situation there. We have even spotted peacocks there. So Supreme Court has come down heavily on this the state government and also warned officials, and hearing this summary matter has stated that immediate measures should be taken when it comes to this land, and deforestation should be done, and we'll be not hearing anything rather than what roadmap does the state government has to take immediate steps to ensure that reforestation takes place and the flora and fauna protected in this 100 acres of land.
Somit, isn't it also true that the Supreme Court had in fact asked the Telangana state government to make a series of submissions during the hearing about the surveys that they've carried out in the state with respect to the total number of forest land, how they ought to preserve it, among a whole host of other details that actually had been sought by the Supreme Court in the previous hearing, where it had come down fairly hard on the Chief Secretary of the Telangana government? What's been the response on that front as far as the Revanth Reddy government is concerned?
Revanth Reddy's government, they will be now discussing on this matter, and because the matter is in the Supreme Court, the final call will be taken after what Supreme Court says, but it is very much clear that Supreme Court has questioned. Tell us what steps will be taken to protect flora and fauna, what steps will be taken for the deforestation, and order is basically we direct the Wildlife Warden of the Telangana to examine and put into effect immediate steps required to protect the wildlife affected on the account of deforestation in 100 acres. So if you try to oppose the deforestation, then temporary prison for your officers is what Supreme Court has stated. In the meantime, not a single tree will be felled there. Have the bulldozers been removed after the 4 weeks or not is what even Supreme Court has questioned. So the Wildlife Warden will be submitting a detailed report to the Supreme Court, and we'll have to wait and see how Telangana will take steps for the reforestation in that 400 acres of land.
All right. Many thanks, Somit, for taking us through what transpired in the Supreme Court in the hearing involving, of course, the Telangana government and the entire deforestation matter pertaining to the Kancha Gachibowli area in Hyderabad. Now, we